Hey guys, Ed Haynes here from Coastal Fitness Performance Training, affiliate CrossFit CSTL. Here to talk to you about the Asia Championships qualifiers, workout 17.2. A nice little test of absolute speed, strength, and some skill test with double unders in there. 6-minute running clock, 100 double unders, and then in the remaining time, find your 1 rep max snatch. Limitations, pretty straightforward. How efficient are you with your double unders? If you're someone that's very efficient, you're gonna go big sets, 50 to 100 reps without a break. If double unders is a movement that you struggle with, then just apply a smart breaking strategy from the start. It's important that we try to put ourselves in the best place possible for us to hit a heavy snatch, whatever that might be for you. So if that means breaking into 10s, 25s, 50s, that's just a personal preference. Of course, one of the biggest limitations is your snatch technique and absolute strength there. I think a lot of people are going to go into this workout with the idea of hitting a 1 rep max or hitting a new PR. Be sensible with that. We will talk a little bit later about reattempts and how we want to strategize what weight we lift. So we talk about pacing strategy. Firstly, don't forget there is a tie break time in your double unders. So that means if you lift the same weight as someone else, then it's going to come down to who completed their 100 double unders faster. That's not something you should all overlook. There's going to be a lot of guys and girls hitting around the same weights with this. So keep that in mind. Pounds conversion. If you're someone who's lifting in pounds versus someone lifting in kilograms, you do want to think about how those weights are transferred. For example, if you're lifting 225, that's 102 kilograms. So if you were to lift 103 kilograms, that might give you a slight competitive advantage because a lot of people will be going for 225. Something to think about is your own risk. Number of attempts at your snatch, that's really based upon your double unders. For most people, let's assume that it's not a problem or a limiter. You're going to be doing your double unders in anywhere between 1 to 2 minutes. That's going to leave you 4 to 5 minutes to find your 1 RM. Now, because we're working at very high percentages here, and it really depends how well developed your snatch is. For someone who's fairly new to snatching, you're going to be able to get more attempts in because it's not going to necessarily be a weight that's very heavy relative to what you can actually lift when we talk about squatting numbers. For those of us who have technically a better developed snatch, you're going to be lifting much heavier loads, a much higher percentage relative to what you can lift. Therefore, your number of attempts is going to be less. With that said, we're looking between 2 to 4 attempts in that remaining time. Reattempts, I think this is the workout that people are going to do definitely more than once. With that said, don't be greedy in your first attempt. That first time you do this workout, you should be hitting some solid numbers that you know you can hit. And once you have that as your banker, then you can always go for something a little bit bigger, more ambitious potentially in your second and third attempts. But the last thing you want to do is go for that big, glorious number, miss it, miss it, miss it. The deadline comes and you haven't registered a lift that you wanted to lift. With that said, if you do not hit your number that you had in mind when you're doing this workout, it probably is something that you can do immediately straight after. For example, if the goal was to hit a 225 snatch, you hit your 100 double unders, you hit 205 and then you go for 225, you miss, you hit the time cap, you can pretty much go straight back in, start your clock again and go. That's again something you want to think about and it's a call you need to make. A couple of reminders. It doesn't really say anything about preloading your bar, so I would highly recommend that in your warm-up, which we'll talk about in a second, after that when you start the workout, your bar is ready to roll. Lifters versus flats. A lot of people, this won't even be something to consider, but for a lot of people who struggle getting into a great position with flat shoes on, highly recommend wearing your lifters for your snatch. With that said, you're probably going to have time to do your double unders and your flats, have time to change over while you allow your respiratory system to calm down, get into your lifting shoes and start attempting your snatches. Have your weights ready to roll. There's nothing worse than hitting your snatch, having a run off camera, get the weights and put them back onto your bar. That's just simples. In your warm-up, it's really important that you're actually warming up your double unders as well. I've seen a lot of people warming up for this workout, not even thinking about double unders. Then all of a sudden, 3, 2, 1, go, the clock starts. They have to hit 100, tripping up consistently, or they get through it and suddenly their heart rate's elevated from a double unders. The shoulders are somewhat fried and jacked up, as are the forearms. The snatch is going to feel very, very different. So I'd highly recommend in your warm-up sets as you get towards higher percentages relative to what you want to hit in the workout, make sure you are doing some double unders before you hit those weights. So for example, when you get to 85% and above, anywhere between 10 to 30 double unders, go in, hit your snatch, rest, so on and so forth. Don't have a really long break between finishing your last warm-up set and then going into the workout. As soon as you hit that last warm-up set, get ready to roll, start your camera, and go. Good luck. Look forward to seeing your scores.